Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. It's a set of 3 kunai throwing knives. Now go ahead and lift the cloths off your anvils. Gentlemen, that is a section of W1 steel that you will have to use to forge your knives. You'll have 3 hours in which to complete this challenge, and your blades must fall within the following parameters. The length of your blades must be between 5 and 6 inches, with an overall length between 10 and 11 inches. The width as measured at the base must be at least 1 3/4 inches. Your blades must have dull edges, sharpened tips, and a drifted hole in the handle. One other stipulation, gentlemen, each of these blades weighs approximately 9 ounces. Now, you can choose whatever weight that you want your blades to be, but they all must be within 1 ounce of one another because weight affects balance, accuracy, and range. Good luck, Bladesmiths. Your 3 hours starts now.
3 hours, 3 blades.
I cut this massive piece of steel into 3 pieces and then started welding. My plan is I want to have 3 basic similar knives by the first hour.
Plan is to get this round stock broke down into 3 pieces. Try to just get them all worked out the same.
My plan is to forge rough, forge thick, and then grind to shape. I'm getting to a point where some of my steel is up to temperature to start forging, and I'm going to run over to the press. I like the press because I feel I have a lot more control over it than the power hammer. I can press in little increments at a time without smashing the crap out of it.
I know it's going to take a long time to heat up a thick chunk of steel like that, but this way I can just draw the whole bar of steel out at the same time, and while that's heating up, I can prepare the rest of my tools for the rest of the challenge.
Colin is really hustling from place to place in this forge. Here's a young man that understands not to waste time.
Yeah.
My strategy for this is to be fast. People tell you that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I'm here to tell you those people are wrong. I get all 3 of my blades forged out, and they're looking pretty good so far. They're nice and consistent in their shape.
All right.
Now I've got to put the hole in the back of my kunai.
He's using a hot cut. Yeah, he's gonna slit it and drift it.
So if I were going to punch a hole, then a plug would come out the other side, which is material that you remove. I don't want to do that. I want nice, thick walls. This way, I spread the material out instead of removing it, like I would with a punch. After I get my slit wide enough, I go ahead and use the horn of the anvil. This just gives me a lot more control getting the hole nice and symmetrical.
I'm starting to get a little bit stressed about the time.
My biggest concern, getting rid of all this extra metal. I've got an awful lot of steel in here yet.
These aren't near as pretty as I think they ought to be, but I'm still in it.
I finished up my forging. Now it's time to change gears. I need to get the heat treat done, get these things cooled off where I can do some grinding on them. It's critical to get this heat treating done right. Got to do it 3 times right. Woo! Got all 3 of the knives in now, the old good. Happy the forging's done. Yeah.
Bladesmiths, you have just less than 45 minutes remaining.
I've got them a little thicker than I want them. I've got them a little longer than I want them. From here, I'm going to go ahead and quench, and then off to the grinder I go. Every one of them is straight. I am so relieved.
I really got to have the quench go well because there's not enough time on the clock at this point to make another.
The challenge of replicating something is that not only do you have to make 3 things, you have to make them match, and you have to make them all nice. It's not easy to do both at the same time.
Colin, he's heating up the entire blade.
Yeah, that was pretty hot, too. That's hotter than needed.
Once my first blade is up to temp, I plunge it into the oil. I take the first blade out of the quench. It looks nice and straight. I'm going to do this again with blade 2 and blade 3. And sure enough, against all odds, they all come out looking pretty good. Not any major warps, no cracks.
Bladesmiths, 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes remaining in the round.
I've got the holes now where they need to be. I need to get some steel off of these things and get them in the quench.
Wow, check out Monty's blade. All of a sudden, it's kind of looking more brighter. I just hope it's not too long, you know, measure it, please.
The clock is almost run out, and I've got to get these things in the quench. I've got to get it done.
Oh, Monty just quenched one of his blades.
I have to make up some time, and I'll hang them from this, and I can grab the next one out and keep going, and it seems to be working.
Is he putting that rebar through the hole in his knife and hanging it there?
Yep.
Wow. There you go. Clever.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, drop your tools, shut down your machines. This first round of competition is over. Woo! Woo!
I did everything I could do, and now it's up to the cosmos to figure out what fate looks like.
Bladesmiths, in this first round of Kung Fu Theater-inspired competition, you were to have made a set of matching kunai throwing knives. The blades had to have been between 5 and 6 inches in length, the overall length not to exceed 11 inches, a drifted hole in the handle, and blade widths that were at least 1 3/4 inches as measured at the base. Failure to meet those parameters is grounds for immediate dismissal from this forge with no deliberation. Bladesmiths, we've got a little bit of a problem. Colin, you're safe. You'll be moving on into the next round. Mike, you're safe. You'll be moving on into the next round. Burton, not good. One of your blades fell short of our width parameter at 1 5/8 inches. Didn't make it to 1 3/4 inches.
Okay.
Monty, all 3 of your blades were 1/2 inch over the maximum length parameter, and all 3 of your blades fell short of the width parameter because they only came out to 1.5 inches each. It's just a more egregious error than the one that Burton made, and for that reason, I need you to surrender your kunai knives and leave the forge.
Thank you, guys. I got eliminated for not meeting parameters. I should have checked it. I thought about it, but I ran out of juice. I overestimated how much I could get done in 3 hours. My hard-headed ways have bit me in the backside again, and that's just me.
Bladesmiths, congratulations. You made it through a really brutal round of testing, and now here you are, that much closer to being Forged in Fire champions. Well, now we're sending you back to your home forge just to recreate this iconic weapon. You ready to see what it is?
Oh, yeah.
The Nine Ring Broadsword. Good luck, Bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
Thank you.
Good luck.
It's day one here at the home forge. I don't really have much experience making something this big or this wide. Plan for today is I got to get the end of the sword drawn out quite a ways. I'm going to use 1080 steel. Nice big heavy bar of it. 1080, nice hard steel that's forgiving for heat treating in an open forge. Let her start warming up. I'm doing most of the work on the press.
My plan is just to kind of get it worked out a little bit here.
Just trying to break that down and spread it out. Heat her back up. Has to be a minimum of 2.5, 4 inches from the tip, so I'm gonna go for 3. That way I got a little bit of movement to do any tweaks I need to after heat treat. Yeah, I'm halfway there, maybe. Yeah, tip's coming right in there now. Starting to take the shape of a sword. That's it for day one.
We are my home forge. I start forging the blade today, and I'm looking to have it fully forged, hopefully midday tomorrow, to where I can start doing some grinding. My biggest concern with this blade is heat treat. I would really hate to have to start over again at the end of day 2. I've got a lot of meat in this thing that needs to be thinned out. Fortunately, I have a power hammer that's going to help a lot with making that happen. Oh, you got to be kidding me. All of a sudden, my power hammer decides it doesn't want to play anymore. It stops working. That sucks. So in between heats, now I'm trying to rewire my power hammer.
All right, well, that ain't working.
Finally get the switch back together. Ta-da! It's alive! So I'm working on the blade and drawing it out, and I notice there's a crack in the blade. And there's no saving this. Yeah, it's junk. So my backup steel is 01. It is a tool steel, but it's not a good steel for swords. Hopefully I can temper it right and it'll still hold together through the testing.
It's day 2 for me today. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of this 3/16 rod and a little scrolling jig and try to set up some like 1.5 rings. I'm gonna hot cut them off one at a time. Once they get attached on the sword, then I'll probably just give them a little TIG weld to hold them together on there. I'm getting ready to try to drill the holes for the rings. Could have possibly got too hard in the forging. Find out here in a second. Looks like it's drilling like butter. First 2 holes drilled, just fine. That's harder. I was hoping they would drill easy. That's what I was afraid of. It can't be a 9-ring sword without 9 holes for the rings to go in. Feeling the clock now. It's not soft. I'm gonna heat the spine of it up with a torch and try to just draw it back, and hopefully it'll be soft enough that I can get those last 7 holes punched through it. If this doesn't work, I'm screwed. I'd hate to start forging again.
Still a heck of a lot of work to do. So it's critical that I really hit the heat treat tonight. If it breaks, if it cracks, if it does anything other than quenches hard and straight, I'm done. I have no backups anymore. We've got a hard blade, it's straight. So as I start profiling the blade more, all of a sudden I notice something's gone wrong. Again, got a crack in the blade. I have no more steel to work with. All right, so how do I fix that? I decided to just put scallops in between all of the eyelets for the rings and hopefully grind far enough down to where I'm beyond where the crack is. No more crack. Doesn't look like the picture, but kind of like it, to tell you the truth.
Got some sweet tea. Day 4, finally punched through the last hole, so now we got a 9-hole broadsword. Got the sword quenched yesterday, but I'm still under the gun. Time to get all these rings welded on here. That's right. They're on there. I'm gonna use a camo-colored paracord to do the wrap, and it gives enough grip and thickness to the handle. Thing's beastly. I'm finished. It's sharp. It's an instrument of death. It's a wild thing. The thing looks wicked.
First thing I'm getting after is the rings. I'm going with 1/8" mild steel. I created a jig a while back for bending this kind of stuff. You know, gonna put it in the jig, bend them around until they're pretty symmetrical and pretty even. Yeah, not too bad. So all I have left to do is get these rings welded in place. Boy, that looks like it just doesn't want to weld together very well. I mean, it starts to melt, it starts to do other things. Damn it. But finally, blade's finished. 9-ring broadsword, brother. I love this thing. I'd like to keep it put on my wall, but I'd rather have 10 grand.
Bladesmiths, you have our gratitude. Gentlemen, your swords look magnificent, but are they deadly? To find that out, we will take your swords and deliver some killing blows on this pig carcass. It's all about the kill in this particular test. Burton, you are up first. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Pretty much what could go wrong is the blade breaks or it's not sharp enough to cut what it's supposed to cut. See how it holds up. There it went. Goodness, look at that.
All right, Burton, first up, what I love about this blade was the balance, the way I was able to move with the blade everywhere. Now let's talk about the breakage. Okay, so the break happened right there where the ring was attached. You can see it's really not a bad coarse scratcher you have there. It could be finer, but rings, when you're digging into that, could cause stress risers. And it broke right there where the ring was.
Well, gentlemen, the fight's not over because Mike, your blade still has to survive 9 strikes on its kill test target. Good luck, gentlemen. Doug?
Burton's blade broke right at one of the holes. I have them same holes in there. Plus, on my spine, I've already had 2 cracks. I'm terrified it's gonna break. Oh, the heart's starting to flutter a little bit.
Good job, bro.
Burton, unfortunately, your blade broke and can no longer continue with testing. And for that reason, I have to dismiss you from the forge. Dude, good job, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
Sucks.
Dude, man. Gorgeous weapon, man. Thank you, man. Seeing my blade break, it's a disappointment. You know, when you make it to round 3, you want to win. You know, the 9 holes burnt through 4 drill bits doing them. So somewhere through there, I probably was given a little too much pressure and caused the stress riser to run down that blade. That was enough to cause a critical failure in that blade. I'm still proud of myself with what I've done. You know, it was way out of my wheelhouse. What's next for me is not swords, especially any 9-ring swords. That's for damn sure.
Mike, congratulations. The strength and integrity of your blade has made you a Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Good job, brother.
I won Forged in Fire. Holy crap, man.
Come on forward and shake our hands, my friend.
Thank you.
Good job, brother.
Thank you. With some of the things that went wrong in my home forge, I was really sure that that blade was going to break on me. Yeah, it's a happy dance. Do it all day.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. In this first round of competition, you'll have to harvest the steel from this. Are you ready to see what it is? Yes! Gentlemen, you'll have to harvest the steel that you need to create signature blades in your signature style from this Go-Kart. One other thing. You must source everything that you need to make your blade from a single tire on this Go-Kart. I'm gonna let that one sink in. That's for your blade and handle material. You will not have any additional handle material. Good luck, gentlemen. Your 3 hours starts now.
I decided I need 3 lug nuts. That should be enough steel because if I stack them on top of each other, I can make them into a longer billet.
Friggin' do here. For a long time, I've made knives out of all kinds of junk. And I could certainly make a knife out of some nuts. This first round is going to be one hell of a challenge.
It looks like Everett's got 4 of those lugs off.
I feel like I'm well suited to the challenge. I've spent a lot of time making scrap mascus and scrap this and scrap that. Whether I can do this challenge in 3 hours is another question, of course.
I'm gonna clean up these fillets, smash them up, draw them out, and make a knife.
If you don't get the scale off, it's not going to bond. Preparation is key to the whole operation of getting steel billets stuck together.
This is where everything really sucks doing a canister. You put it in the forge and you gotta leave it alone. There's nothing I can do.
Bladesmiths, 2 hours has elapsed. You have just 60 minutes remaining.
I'm making some kind of hacker, slasher, chopper, bolo-y. We'll call it the dune buggy special.
I get my blade to shape and decide to drill some holes.
I'm drilling now just to set up for round 2.
It's a lot easier than after you heat treat it.
Time is ticking down, and I need to quench so I can fix any warps or cracks.
Here we go, here we go. Look at that. Cody's quenched his blade. He's got a jig set up.
The warp in my blade is too severe, so I try to straighten it out.
Oh, don't do that. Oh! Man.
It breaks.
With 24 minutes left on the clock, Cody just snapped his blade.
Oh my God, I'm angry with myself, but also like, I'm so emotional. But I'm Navo, we're resilient. I don't have enough time to start another blade, so I just keep going. I can possibly forge weld it back together.
Did he flap the two ends over?
Yeah, he's grounded so they can overlap each other. Tack welded them on there. He's going to try and forge weld those two pieces back together.
Okay, that's commendable. I would love to see this pay off.
James caught back up, and it looks pretty good.
I'm fatigued. My forearms are cramping up, but I'm going to finish this knife. And then I see a big warp. I got to heat it up, straighten it, re-quench it. Put it back in my quench oil. Damn it. And it warps again. You got to go with it.
Decided I want to do an edge quench because I want the back of the blade soft and I want the edge hard.
Peter messing with the torch with 16 minutes left. Ay, ay, ay.
If I keep spinning my wheels with this edge quench, I'm not going to be in round 2. I decided to scrap it and just do a full hardening. I feel I had a good quench, but we'll find out when Jay smashes it.
I look at the forge welds and I'm thinking it's pretty good.
All right, Cody, he is in the quench his second time around.
If Cody's weld didn't set completely, it's going to be fractured at that joint.
Still has a warp to it. This time, thinking that it's hot enough that I can somehow flex the warp out of it.
Don't flex it, don't flex it.
I'm trying to be super gentle.
Oh, not again.
Oh, man.
No! Oh, my God!
10 minutes, Bladesmiths!
I feel like I'm ready for the quench.
And we've got a quench out of Everett.
I pull it out, and I have a large warp in there, which is very irritating.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This first round of competition is over.
Woo! Woo! All right, Bladesmiths, in this first go-round, we ask you guys to pull the wheels off this go-kart to make signature blades in your signature style. Now it's time for the judges to take a closer look at what you've done with your time. James, you're up first. Please present your blade to the judges.
James, that was a good idea going with the canister. You pretty much guaranteed yourself that you were going to have more than enough steel. You do have quite a good warp in here, though. But you got a lot of meat to fix that. Good job.
All right, Peter, you're up. Show the judges what you've done.
I like it. You got a lot of material here still to work with. I mean, the profile already looks fantastic. I like that little drop to it. So if you move forward, it's really refining this and turning it into a real nice chopper. Good job.
All right, Doc Everett, you're up. Please present your blade to the judges.
All right, Everett. I like the design you have here. It's designed for slashing. You see it flares out. Give it a little weight for chopping also. You do have a warp, but the good thing is there's enough metal right here to correct that if you move forward to the second round.
All right, Cody, you're up. Please present your blade to the judges.
Cody, we got a few issues with this. I wish you had used more steel. You were fighting to stretch material out, and then it got so lean that when you were trying to manipulate the blade, you snapped it. Smart thing you did, though, lapping those and forge welding those. I got to commend you for not giving up. Good job.
Bladesmiths, the judges' deliberation is complete. They've made their final decision. It's time for one of you Smiths to leave the forge. Cody, your blade didn't make the cut. Doug Markite is going to tell you why.
Cody, this competition is about coming into this arena and testing your skills against a time competition. So we just don't test your metal, but your metal. And you made it through with a blade to present, and that to me makes it special. But that being said, then your blade has the most issues.
Cody, please surrender your blade.
I'm definitely proud of myself because I kept on pushing through and I didn't give up.
Peter, Everett, congratulations. You fellas have made it into the third round of this competition. Now, when you came here, we had you make signature blades in your signature style. That's not going to happen at your home forges. Instead, you'll be making one of these. Genghis Khan's sword. Sweet. Good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
Bring your A game.
I'll bring my A+ game. I'm back in Austin, Texas, and I have to make Genghis Khan's sword. Let's get to work. I was considering a Damascus build, but I think it's a risk. You're asking for potential D-lams and weak points, so I'm thinking of a strong monosteel here. I'm gonna go function, function, function. I think this is gonna be a challenge no matter what, just sheer length of, the longer it is, it's harder to keep these things straight. You're asking for warps and other weirdness to go on. I'm hoping to get the hole fuller in today and the tang shaped out. Pretty happy with how it's going so far. So basically, my sword is ready to quench now. I pull it out. Wow, it's pretty straight. And it's hard. This is a huge relief.
So this is day 2. It seems like day 10 or something. It's brutal. I'm forging along. It's starting to stretch out nicely. I want to leave it a little bit thick to avoid a big whoop. Should be able to get into some heat treat. I really want to get this done right the first time. I don't want something to go wrong. I pull it out, not bad. Not like a pool stick, but it's got a little whoop-de-doo in, but I've got a lot of meat on the blade to straighten that out.
A little tired, but nothing some good coffee won't cure. I got an octagonal guard knocked out. And I'm gonna mix some epoxy and set some pins, and then we'll start thinking about our butt cap. My plan is to put this butt guard on and use the press just real gently to conform the metal over the groove and lock it into place. So it's got this physical connection. I go to the press, it feels like it should just press into place. And it immediately goes south. Ah, crap. I break my freaking handle. It looks like I popped it open here. I noticed the handle's screwed up. I gotta pry it off, clean everything up, and re-epoxy, repin everything. Round 2. I also have to fix the butt cap that I mess up trying to press it into the tang. I have to change my game plan and attach the butt plate by epoxy. I do feel like I'll be able to get a handle on the situation.
To figure out the handle design. The finishing of a weapon, I feel, is the most time-consuming. This is tedious. So I got this curved tang to deal with, so I decided to cut the pieces up. My idea is to have the tang sticking out, because I have to put this little hole in there for a little tassel. Put the handle together, doing a dry fit. Uh-oh. See, my angle's way off. I'm gonna go bend this tang just a hair. It's gonna be real close. I really thought I'd be further along, like pretty much done right now. But I think I'm set up good for tomorrow to finish.
It's the last day. I have a sword, so now it's sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. I'm going for a very sharp edge, and that's a bit of a calculated risk, so it will certainly help in a cut and potentially kill test. But if the strength test is bashing against bones or something, then this could be a detractor for me. I believe my sword is a lot like Genghis Khan, actually. Sharp and really freaking brutal. I think there's only one thing left to do. We got to give this some sort of test. Woo! Okay. That was kind of cool.
All right, Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do. I will take your sword and deliver some killing blows to this ballistics dummy. Peter, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Peter, first up, your edge is sharp, the balance feels good, but it did take quite a pronounced bend. But the more important thing is, it will kill. I timed that perfectly. All right, Doc Everett, are you ready, sir?
Let's do some surgery.
Yikes.
All right, Everett, your edge is very sharp. It slashes nicely. Your tip punctures easily, cuts on the way out. With all these cuts, it will kill.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test. Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be attacking our armored targets over here. Peter, you're up first. You ready?
Let her rip, Tater Chip.
All right, Peter. I'm going to start with your handle. I find it really comfortable. The way it flares towards the tip works pretty good for my hand. And I love what you did with this kind of low layer count Damascus. It's very dramatic. But we've got some very deep rolls on this edge. Yeah, there you go. Hear it. Those chips, that's an issue. But all in all, you did a good job. All right, Everett, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, piece of armor. All right, Everett, your blade still spot on. What I really like is the fact that that blade is at its widest point, maybe 3/16 of an inch. You don't need weight and mass for strength in a properly tempered blade. That's really good. You've got a section of blade here that's not quite as sharp as it was right there. All in all, I think you did a great job.
Awesome.
All right, Bladesmiths, this is the War Banner Slice. To test the sharpness of your blade, I will take your weapon and slash across these war banners. Peter, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
So where your edge has a chip, you can see it catches and rips through the banner. Where it's not, it cuts nicely. Overall, sir, it will cut. All right, Everett, it's your turn. You ready, sir?
I think this beats the hell out of peer review.
All right, let's find out. Okay, Everett, your edge here does cut. It's sharp, it cuts in some of the areas. On some parts of it, it ripped, but overall, sir, it will cut.
Awesome.
All right, gentlemen, based on what we've seen in the weapons test, the judges have made their final decision about which of you is our next Forged in Fire champion. Peter, Your sword took the most damage in our strength test. You had a rolled edge, and your blade bent. For that reason, I have to dismiss you from the forge. Come on forward.
I feel a little sad, but it's been an awesome experience. This loss is not going to deter me. It's going to just make me stronger. I may not be the Forge and Fire champion, but I still think I'm a badass smith.
Well, Everett, your blade is comfortable, well-balanced, strong, and deadly, and that makes you the Forged and Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for 10 grand. Good job. Come on forward and shake our hands, man.
This experience was really fun. It was really tough in a lot of places, and it's been a hell of a ride.